This story about Sinclair is almost not even worth covering just because there are so many malware attacks all the time that I feel like I'm growing numb to it. But I guess that's the point of this show, is to build awareness and talk about that kind of stuff. So maybe I shouldn't complain. However, what I thought was amusing, I guess, about this story is just the schadenfreude of that it happened to Sinclair, because they are kind of bad for democracy. I think
Yeah.
they just, the problem with Sinclair is they own what, 193 television stations across the country. So there's not really any independent media, and it used to be that local news is what generated national news. Now it's kind of going the other way, where Sinclair has an agenda to push. In fact, there was a funny video that I shared in Discord before this. I'm sure people have seen it, but it shows 193
Right.
television local news anchors reading the same prepared statement by Sinclair, all layered on top of each other, and just hilarious. So my problem with this story, my problem with Sinclair, what I like about this story is that Sinclair got beat up. But otherwise, I don't know that there's a lot remarkable about it.
I
Um,
mean, go ahead, John. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think, well, there's a little bit more to it. What I wanted to touch on was that, Mike, it wasn't 193, it was only 185 stations.
Oh,
Okay.
Get it right, Mike.
sorry,
Get it
sorry.
right.
I
Come
need to
on.
be fact checked.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Fake
Many
numbers.
people have said it's
Fake
193.
news.
I'm going off of their site,
That-
so maybe I'm the one
That I have the best numbers.
So that was good. I just wanted to touch on the fact that such a massive entity was still deploying a simple, one domain Active Directory across all of these different stations, which is how this presumably occurred, if I recall correctly from this article. Was that they propagated through this domain.
John, imagine just for hypotheticals, that I, as a naive young user, don't know much about Active Directory.
Right. Good call.
How would you say that is a rookie mistake?
Is this an IT interview? Am I having a dream? You're
Explain
throwing me
like I'm
back to
5.
5 years ago. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, okay, that's good.
You
That's good.
know.
God,
just
how do you
speaking on
even
behalf of the
explain-
audience.
How do you even
obviously.
explain? Active Directory allows you to log into like ELI 5, not ELI 10. Okay, we're doing 5 here. So it lets you log into computers across and valid. Oh fuck! How do you not use big words on this?
You are not. Talking
we're
to my
gonna do
5-year-old.
actually just the normal one and say it lets you authenticate your user account to a specific domain. In this case, it would be Sinclair, or in this case, it would be Sinclair, over the network. So
why is one domain a problem?
Well, one domain is a problem. Why did I say that? Because it's kind of the single point of failure when you're looking at something so sprawled like Sinclair. If we're looking at a medium-sized business, it's understandable going through just one domain. But something like Sinclair, where their benefits to them was, well, we get to do all of our sharing, anything and everything that we need to can be over the network by authenticating to the Sinclair domain.
So this is actually related to what Mike was saying about it really just being like all this local news is actually just one big
massive
big organization, totally synchronized all together.
Exactly. And this proves it even further, right? Let's say they wanted to drop that one script of, and I don't know if the viewers have seen this, but there is multiple videos on YouTube that show the same thing, which is it starts with one reporter and then just goes and explodes into 100, 200 different reporters all saying the same exact thing across the country. So they most likely got that script through some sort of file server, file share, whatever, on this Active Directory domain. So like, or thanks to this domain. Just a scenario. Obviously, it could have been emailed to them, but that's just one funny scenario.
I'm sorry I keep interrupting, but that just made me gave me a thought that it would have been much more fun if the hackers had subtly altered the scripts or something and distributed it to all the others.
So this is it's very interesting that they didn't. They just ransomware. And sometimes, you think about a group that deploys ransomware, I imagine a lot of it is automated, and it feels almost wasted. Like, sure, they probably know it's Sinclair, and they know that they can ask Sinclair for God knows how much money to unlock everything in the event that they can't restore from backups, or they have to pay it up, pay the ransom. But just imagine what you could do with that type of access to such a network. This is the biggest television network probably on Earth. Because if you think about how many stations are under them, like that is an insane amount of power.
China's probably got them beat, but you know,
sure,
at that point,
that's state run though.
Yeah.
We're not going to go into the politics of if Sinclair is or isn't state run.
I think Mike already did.
Yeah,
a little bit. So.
Let the cat out.
State run a lot.
But in a free economy, I think that they are probably one of, if not the largest network. So just the fun that you could have as an attacker, hypothetical fun, I mean. Yeah.
I think
so.
Part of
sorry, go on, Mike.
From a technology standpoint, you talked about how they're not a medium-sized business; they're just big monolith, and I think the bridges and why they probably do still use a single domain is that any individual station is tiny, and they're trying to link together all these different individual businesses essentially that no one of them is large in a bit from a business perspective, and their TV stations. So yes, they have a lot of cool technology for audio and video mixing and stuff like that, but they're set up for broadcast, not for streaming or internet necessarily. Yeah, and so from a network security standpoint, I suspect a lot of these are going to be very, or I guess relatively immature businesses with more casual IT support until they get looped into the network, and beefing up their security and getting everybody their own servers and Active Directories and all this stuff and IT support is likely not the highest priority, as we've seen here.
Well, you heard it here first, guys. Mike officially supports Sinclair TV and everything they do.
Oh yeah, that's good.
From the IT infrastructure all the way up to the top, man.
I'm applying for a job. Good. I want to be a Sinclair anchor. This is my audition anchor. Tape. Hire me.
Yeah, well, the whole podcast is just your audition thing. Mm-hmm. Like, obviously. your sizzle reel. I love it.
Yeah, that's a good point. But this is almost borderline critical infrastructure. They are providing essential news. I think that is very important. Getting disrupted like this is, talking about the smaller stations in particular, is something that should not be able to occur. They should have been able to, especially if you're under Sinclair, you should be able to secure all your networks. I guess they did some company-wide password reset in July for all employees, is what this came after. So who knows how long they've actually been lurking. I
mean, it could be a result of the password reset, especially if like some SMS was spoofed or something like that. You know, the 2FA thing. Of course, SMS spoofing is de rigueur, according to Mike. But hey, but it is trivial as well. But it's like maybe you should trust.
What was the company called?
What was the company called? Not Synergy. It was
Synergistics or something like that.
No, it wasn't Synergistics. That doesn't make any sense. I don't remember what the SMS company was called. Cineverse.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, that you kept repeating it until it just popped out.
That's how my memory works. I start with a pattern and zero in through a series of triangulations and eventually get there.
Agile thinking. It's iterative.
Trying to remember things.
That's good.
I don't know. I think that it's like Mike said. I mean, this is becoming sort of predictable. You know, it's who's next kind of thing. It's I don't know. On the one hand, I feel like, oh come on, guys, like how could you get everything infected like that? On the other hand, it happens to everybody eventually. It seems like so. I'm sure there were some people having very bad days there, and I feel sorry for them.
So why?
Not that much. Sorry, they are working for the the devil. So
why? That's what capitalism does. If you have the ability to buy 200 networks across the country, you should. That's where we're going to make our money. But why talk about why talk about the security aspect of it? Like, yes, every time we turn around, somebody's getting attacked. Malware is at an all-time high. Ransomware is at an all-time high. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Why? Like, what's it going to take? How is this just how it's going to be? Like, okay, welcome to the show. Let's review the ransomware attacks for the past week. Here we go.
I think it's almost comedic.
I mean, I agree, but
yeah,
is that
we have. Sorry, Peter. We have the best computing that the world has ever seen. We have so much money, so much information, yet we're still getting hacked more than ever.
Well, the problem is that both sides have more money than before, and both sides have the best tech than before, and these are real businesses now that are getting run to take down companies and stuff. I don't know who it was, this ransomware operator, but did they pay the ransom? Do we know?
I don't know. Predictions?
Yes, they paid, and I think it was probably 5 million.
On the other
I'm
hand,
going to hope.
On the other hand, if they were running off of a single AD server, they could have had a backup and restored that pretty easily.
So
I was thinking that as well, but then I thought, well, I don't know. Restoring 200 different TV networks is going to take a while. So how long were they offline for? I didn't see that actually.
Hours. I don't know if it was past the first day, but hours for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it was more than a day.
If I had to guess, now we're gonna give this single domain corporate IT group, whoever is, it might be a managed service provider, it might be internal. We're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to and say they were running backups multiple times a day. So
yeah, but full restore takes a long time.
Full restores do take a long time, but I still think that that's the route they're gonna take. And because you're not wrong, right? Your estimate. Oh, what do we got?
Not to whether they paid or not, but they talk about how the attack did not reach the part of the Sinclair Broadcasting system called the master control, which allowed the company to replace the scheduled local programming on the affected channels with a national feed, allowing some channels to remain on air. So that makes it sound like the local channels were potentially affected. However, yes, still could have been kind of a centralized networking issue, I guess. I don't know if we have that level of detail.
Nonetheless, this still tells us that some of those smaller studios most likely got ransomware, and if I had to guess, they're going to or already have recovered from backup.
Well, they also say in the article, signs of the major outage that is still underway can be seen via Hulu support and Twitter support. So this article was from the 17th. When was
3 days ago?
So it sounds like the attack, we said the outage lasted only a couple of hours. Maybe it was a couple of hours until they got the national feed in place of the local feeds, but it sounds like it was a bigger attack than that.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to them. That's all I can say. Sounds like they got it sorted out, and
Godspeed.
Rely on wild speculation.
Yeah. One of the problems with all these stories, right, is that I used to really enjoy digging into the stories and finding out the details and the nitty-gritty of like exactly how were they breached by whom, and what backup systems did they have in place, how did it go down, who got alerted where, and all this kind of stuff. Loved it, but it's so common now. It's just I just don't have the interest anymore. That's the worst thing about this whole ransomware epidemic. That's what it is. It's boredom.
I'll get you there on privacy soon.
No, you're not wrong. You know what, Peter? You're actually not wrong. It is so not exciting.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any Hollywood like flash to it.
Come on, guys, bigger, better.
Yeah.
We want something more fancy, flashy.
Exactly.
We want some hidden scripts.
That T-Mobile hack, now that was something juicy for me. To me, like I just found that, yeah, that was the best of the best. They got in through an wrongly configured internal U.S. intelligence tool.
That was cool.
Straight from a movie.
Yeah,
Too good.
Yeah.
I like the Twitch one recently.
Yeah, of course.
It kind of fills it out. I thought there would be more long tail to that over the past couple of weeks, but
we still don't know. Well, I haven't. Yeah. Part 2 might still come. They might have just trolled us and said part 1, and that was the whole leak. It'll be interesting. We'll see.
We'll keep track because Peter thinks he's going to win our bet. That you give him till the end of the year. I give him until next October. Peter says they're in it to win it, but all in on Twitch surviving.
That's Peter, yeah.
But check it out. We did a story. I think it's an individual clip from a week or two ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe to the channel. We're doing another story in this playlist.